Joy Division were the major group of that era. They were the biggest thing around. They were clearly one of the most important groups in the world. They were on our label for their first couple of records. I thought they were going to go. Mr. Gretton, their manager, without telling me, had this idea. He thought to himself, if I can stay with Factory and sell as many records, I don't have to get on the train to London and talk to assholes in London.
This was the time of spittle and safety pins and industrial heartlands and heroes.
In Joy Division, we're all very into Iggy Pop, so we used to listen to his records and say, right, let's do one like this, let's do one like The Passenger or something. So you've got to have an influence, you know.
One word, apart from the complex things like praxis, that one sums up either Factory or New Order, if there's one thing that we both have in common, it's willfulness. It's the desire to do just what you want to do.
Well, we do what we want to do, and some people see that, you know, it's just self-determination. You know, everybody wants that, but journalists and people don't expect you to have it, you know. But we've got it, so it annoys a lot of people.
Including a whiskey. Both up and down.
But, well, basically, the Factory just put our records out, and we licensed our records to Quest in America. And that's it, really. They don't hold any reins over us. In fact, we haven't even got a contract with Factory. We just got total artistic freedom, which in some ways has been good, but in other ways it's kind of spoiled us, you know. We're not used to that hard world out there.
New Order, I'm sure, think they support us. I wouldn't expect my dear friends to appreciate any of the things that we do for them.
No, we support them. They don't support us. No, in fact, they financed our first record as Joy Division, which was Unknown Pleasures. So ever since then, we've paid them a debt back.
It's always flattering when people come along and say, you know, do you want £1 million, do you want $1 million? But in reality, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. For me, anyway. I mean, I don't think I could ever consider being signed to a major label because of the experience that I've suffered through people that I know who've been on major labels. It doesn't sort of align with the way that I work or the way that Rob works or the way that I feel that New Order work. And I honestly don't think it'd work.
What do you think would sort of take away from what you've already got if you signed to someone else? What would you lose?
Freedom, really. That's freedom and control.
Those obviously are important.
Well, it's vital.
Factory have never had success with anyone except New Order. A Certain Ratio, James, Railway Children, Durutti Column, all have failed where they succeeded. So what sort of position does this put the band in?
It's pressure on New Order. I think New Order were aware that the whole Factory edifice, all the many parts of Factory and New Order, the club and the movies and all the different businesses, were very dependent on them and on them selling lots of records. And in a way, bringing through Happy Mondays or Cath Carroll should hopefully take a bit of the pressure off them.
I'm down. Don't know why.
They have the band's sense of humour, highly developed. The great underground joke always about Joy Division, the gloom and doom group, were that they were, and New Order are, the most fun to be with on the road, the most outrageous, the most quirky. I mean, japing is a major part of both Joy Division's and New Order's life, which is people play jokes on people. I mean, in the midst of recording Closer, which was the great, tragic Joy Division album, we went back from the studio one night with them to their flat in London, and when you go through the door, it's 3 in the morning, everyone immediately rushes to their room, checks their beds, checks their part of the refrigerator to see if someone's pissed in their orange juice, or, I mean, for example, someone that week got the inside legs of their bed sawed off. So when they got into bed at 4 in the morning, the bed collapsed and they got stuck against the wall. So they do all that kind of stuff, always have done, are loads of fun to be with, and people think they're gloomy, which is part of the irony and the enigma, which is part of the fun of them.
Are you a pop or a rock band? Do you see yourselves in either category or both, or...?
We're a POC band. Or a rock band. I thought he was going to say POCs then. No. You're a mother or a rocker, neither I'm a mocker.
It's Manchester humour as well. I mean, Manchester, northwestern working class humour has a great dryness to it. I mean, the Americans never understand the kind of jokes that come through. But it is a specific sense of humour. It's dry and it's aggressive. You know, I mean, if you're going away somewhere and you say, all right, I'm off now, you know, Barney will look up and say, I hope the plane doesn't crash, in a very quiet voice. You know, it's just, you know, just his way of saying, you know, see you.
You seem to be one of the, well, the only bands that has major chart success from Factory, and I was just wondering why this was. Do you know?
We bribe the right people.
Action photography, I like.
Hey, sniffing your balls, sniffing your balls.
I love a pair of false ones. Can't worry about the false ones.
Songs are about every emotion you hold, really, and in your life. Just one thing doesn't happen to you. You get a number of different things happening to you, so each song covers a different corner, as George Michael would say.
There are certain people who do things that we work with that like run clubs or, you know, promote gigs and things like that, and I sort of feel are more akin to what they do as opposed to what most groups do, because the way we work is very sort of downbeat, sort of unbusinesslike, and I sort of allies with people who do things for the crack as opposed to for the money or for career building or something like that. So I don't really feel closely involved with any other groups.
That you don't have to practice an instrument for days on end and learn how to play it. You can just program it into a computer, and in a way, the songwriter becomes a composer, and the computer's his orchestra. You know, which to me, I much prefer that, because I hate doing boring things, and learning to play an instrument is boring. Anyone could use computers. It's the perfect punk instrument.
In Factory, you have certain people that handle things for you, and the guy that handles most of our video things is called Michael Schamberg. He works out of New York in America, and it's his job, if you like, to get ideas for us, which he then tells to us, and if we like them, he goes ahead and does them, and if we don't like them, he tells it to us again until we like them, and then that's the way it goes.
The Hacienda Club in Manchester is probably the best club in Britain. It has a great mix of people, dance music trends way ahead of London, and a wild atmosphere, more like a New York than a northern club. Now it's a disco, but it used to be a live venue. But why did the band reinvest in their hometown?
If it had been up to me, I'd have stuck all the cash in my back pocket. But since New Order is a total democracy, right, we as a group decided to put it back into Manchester. Because we live in Manchester, and we want to make it a better place to live in. If we make it a better place to live in, we live here, so it's good for us.
Basically, if we didn't have the Hacienda, we'd have nowhere to go. It's like we opened it for ourselves. It was it. When the Hacienda opened, it was the only place I could get in Manchester, just because of the way I dressed.
I don't know what that says about Manchester or about the way you dress.
Well, now you can get in anywhere, so
yeah.
It's obvious that we were right, they were wrong.
The Hacienda is now so successful that the band are opening a bar called Dry. They're also moving their offices out of manager fifth member Rob Gretton's house and into their own inner city building. Business, though, wasn't always so great.
When you first start the club, there's a great deal of cost incurred in all the building, and like this used to be a boat showroom before this club. It's quite ironic since I own a boat at the moment. But I mean, it lost a lot of money when it first opened for about the first 3 years. We tried to run things on very socialist terms and treat people very fairly, like the staff and that. And they just all ended up ripping us off, like ripping the bar off and ripping video machines off from upstairs. I think the mentality that people have is that well, it's owned by New Order and they're a pop group and loaded, so they won't notice if we nick this, nick that. So So at the very beginning we lost a lot of money, but we then had to get a hardline manager in who turned the club over, and now it's making a lot of money. Hopefully we'll make all the money back that we lost.
We rarely make any conscious decisions. We plan about 2 months, 2 months ahead. I mean, it's like after America, we've got nothing. Not even thought about anything. Just very, very sketchy. I mean, most bands have their careers mapped out to a fine art, and really that just doesn't interest us. I mean, it's like crossing over into the mainstream. I mean, God, since we've been doing this round of interviews, I've heard that so many times, and I just don't particularly think it's true.
Yeah, there is danger, but I think we'll change when it comes to that, because we always do when things start sounding old-fashioned. We realise it, then we change. You've got to move with the times, you know.
With so many bands now using technology and having the technology at their fingertips, I mean, does it make it harder for you to be original anymore?
Yeah, it does. It makes it really difficult to be original. I mean, if you look at the chief originators of electronic music, Kraftwerk, for instance, they've not done an album for like 6 years, and I think that's what's holding them back. You know, there's so many people using the technology now. But if you can't be original, you can be good. So that's what we try and do, I think.
This is Manchester. It is a lovely place. We live here a lot.